Prime.
Yep, which of course this couldn't happen without our wonderful sponsors, and just like
look at all these wonderful sponsors
all these
right
wonderful
here.
sponsors.
All these wonderful sponsors. Why can't I hold all of these sponsors? That's my question.
We can't even do it as a team, to be honest.
We can't.
But
yeah, definitely support all of our sponsors. Mad Cats, which I'm using as headphones right now. We have Origin PCs, Astros, and pretty much everything else here. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight on into this match as we swap over now into the main screen. Spawning over here at the 3 o'clock position from Team Acer, it is our Red Terran player, MMA.
Yes, sir. And down here at the 6 o'clock position, we do have as our purple Terran from Team Prime, it is ByuN.
ByuN Prime.
Yes, sir. And so, again, we're talking about MMA is down a game. So this is where I think the mind games really come into play, especially for ByuN. He could do basically anything, and in his back pocket, he has another game to fall back on.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about TVT is that you have so many different options.
Okay. Yeah, I was like...
You heart stopped a little bit right there. You seeing the two SCVs making it look like they're going to go straight on over into MMA's base. But interestingly enough, as I was saying before, TVT, very, very versatile. You have so many different options, even if you're that crazy enough. Sky Terran.
Sure.
But you have mech, you have Marine Tank, and then you can go just straight on into MMM. Some of these have kind of fallen back in prominent amounts of strategies, but... Fair enough, both of these players very, very confident with their Marine Tank play.
There it is. And it looks like actually ByuN is dropping a proxy Rax at the third base because, of course, he didn't scout his opponent, but he knows he can't be close ground spawn. So he knows it has to be one of the two other expansions. And I actually think we might see, it should be just maybe a second SCV will get pulled here.
Actually, he's thrown down a refinery, so this could actually possibly be Marauders.
Just like we saw in the first game.
Well, no, the first game we saw Marines. This time we might actually see some Marauders, which are very, very effective in the very early game of Terran versus Terran.
And once again, MMA has scouted it.
Oh, did he now? Yes, he did. But this time he did catch that SCV a lot earlier.
Right, and the SCV, it doesn't have a wall to hug this time. So look at ByuN trying to micro that SCV to his best ability, but it's not going to make it, man. It's not a 5 HP. Actually dies, forces a cancel, and now ByuN has to build a barracks back home. And this is, again, we saw in the first game, this exact situation, well, without the cancellation. And now MMA has got to be feeling pretty good about himself.
Yeah, I mean, putting a thwart to that's going to delay so much of the orbital command center, and that's going to be a whole bunch less mules that he's going to have for ByuN right now. And those mules, of course, very, very pivotal to the Terran backbone. It gets you those expansions, gets you those incredibly imbalanced units. I don't know if you've heard of them, called Marines.
Oh, jeez. One supply.
One supply, infinite amount of potential.
It looks like we do actually have a command center going down on the low ground from MMA, so it looks like we are going one Rax expand without gas, and ByuN opting to go for a factory once again.
Yeah, I mean, he already did have the gas. Actually started making the reactor, but decided not to. Now, I'm curious if that was because of a scout that he may have seen and was a little bit too scared and wanted to make sure he had a couple of Marines. Yes, there is a scouting SCV now going in straight in from MMA. And because there were no Marines out just yet, and he wanted to go straight into the reactor, didn't have anything to stop this.
Yeah, MMA did a good job of denying his opponent from scouting, and it looks like, nice job by MMA trying to do a little bit of harass here. And this Marine's going to get targeted down, already taken 2 hits from MMA's Marine, and now MMA is in the main. He's going to have to pull back here, but he actually wasting quite a bit of mining time. 3 SCVs have been pulled off, and he has full scouting information, so he knows, okay, you're going to go for some sort of tech. Well, guess what? I'm going to fall back. I already have a command center on the way. As long as I play somewhat defensive, I should be in a really, really good spot.
And that he is. I mean, he is just starting up his factory right now, and he's also throwing his barracks to be right next to his factory, so there might actually be a tech lab or a reactor that's going to go immediately onto that. But ByuN right now is actually in a little bit of a weirder spot than he was last game. He was actually supply blocked from that SCV being picked off before from that single Marine, and now that he had the proxy racks, that was completely denied. He looks like he's just going to try and go right into 1-1-1 and hoping that he can balance his game back out with some sort of harassment.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to scout out this natural because he tried to before, but MMA denied it. And again, MMA is going to deny any sort of aggression or any sort of pressure with this Hellion, but it looks like he also has a bunker to follow it up. Try to run by. He wants to see the command center because, of course, a bunker does not mean there's a command center there. Players, at this high caliber can actually play mind games in that regard, but it looks like MMA is going to go ahead and drop a starport here. It looks like ByuN already has his first medevac on the way, and it looks like we're going to see some sort of medevac drop with the Hellion Marine combo.
Now, medevac drops on this map incredibly strong because you have such a large open south side of the base here for MMA.
Absolutely.
And it's all completely available for that dropship. Just kind of pop out wherever the heck he wants to and start lowering those Marines because they do not instantly all drop at once.
Yeah, and MMA dropping engineering bay, playing defensive, a little bit of a misread, not going to hurt him too bad because, again, this time we're not going to see the Banshees and actually a Viking come out as well. The Viking will definitely come into play because of the medevac, but it looks like MMA knows what's up now and he's going to have to pull his units from the bunker. We are elevating all the way units into the main, and now ByuN actually has done a great job of getting his units up there as quickly as possible. Supplies are dead even, and it looks like ByuN is going to go for the engagement here.
Oh, but there is only one Hellion. Now, if these Hellions here from ByuN Prime can actually get a pretty good couple of lineups, it's going to be great. But unfortunately, Acer's MMA in a dominating position with a huge concave was able to completely take out that drop.
Yeah, and it looks like behind this, ByuN is starting his command center. MMA already starting to mine from his naturals. So ByuN is definitely behind here. Needs to get maybe a little bit more harass off if he can. Otherwise, he needs to cut some corners here and try and get maybe like a tech advantage.
Now, I really like this. Acer's MMA putting a couple of Vikings in a couple of those key spots. Now, here comes yet another drop going straight on into MMA's base. Now, one of those Hellions is instantly picked off by all of those Marines. Is he going to be able to evacuate the rest of his units here? Now, the Viking has come in, and he's going to be able to take out that medevac, possibly.
I don't know. Looks like the medevac might
does,
make it home.
oh, no, looks like, yeah, that Viking's just going to go back and just kind of hang out. Just going to be perfectly fine with just scaring him off. It's the guy on the porch yelling, yeah, you run from here.
And it looks like ByuN doing exactly what he needs to. He's too far behind to just sit back, getting a third command center, playing a little bit greedier here, needs to do so, and it looks like MMA is starting a third command center as well. And what's really interesting to me is MMA is the one who's starting siege tech a little bit quicker than ByuN, even though ByuN's mining gas a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I'd really like to see what ByuN Prime's plan is right now. I mean, he's got the orbital command center to still be made here at the natural, and he still doesn't really have that much of a comeback just yet. I mean, he has actually evened up the worker count a lot better than I thought he was going to be able to. It is 32.
There's a drop in the main, though, by MMA, it looks like, and ByuN is not ready for this at all. Does not have any units here. Stim is not done for MMA, but targeting down some of those crucial units that are mining gas right now. And it looks like ByuN's trying to respond with a tank and some SCVs along with Marines. Marines do melt very quickly. Might actually target fire down some of the tech labs or reactors of ByuN, but it looks like the one siege tank, the reactor is going to fall, and now ByuN is in a worse spot than before. Viking does get taken out by MMA. One of the tanks is going to get targeted down, but I think ByuN has enough to eliminate this. MMA pulling back at the last second, and now we have a 30 supply differential.
That was some beautiful micro there by MMA. He instantly took out the Viking, which allowed him to escape this entire zone, making it not as risky a drop as it used to be. And not only that, was able to take out so many SCVs, the rest of the Marines that came up at the beginning for defense. And even the siege tank wasn't even able to do too much. Actually took some damage himself.
Yeah, this is the MMA we all love to see. We didn't get to see this too much from him in the first game. He loves to do the multitasking. His drop micro is out of this world. And now he's starting to look really strong. Maybe he's getting a little more comfortable here. Getting a third command center, building some extra barracks, and starting to macro like a fiend, keeping his money as low as possible. And right now, 92 supply versus 61 from ByuN.
And 51 to 37 in the harvester count. Wow. Can't get my words out right now because Acer just keeping such a dominating position. Hopefully we'll actually finally see a third game come out of one of the series that we're casting.
Hopefully enough, we'll get into that, but we'll have to see. MMA is currently getting, or his +1 is just about to finish. Both players, look at this, 12 minutes into the game, and Stim's not even halfway done from either player right now. Getting the armory from MMA, so he might just stick and go straight to 2-2 upgrades. And ByuN's still down a little bit on supply here, not really showing exactly what he wants to do, just kind of straggling right now. Getting Stim, getting +1 attacks right now. 2 more gas geysers on the way, but MMA is transferring a ton of SCVs. Of course, he had the Harvester lead, and so now he's going to transfer a bunch of those over to the third and just start mining very quickly.
And he's got 1 SCV and 1 Marine to take on that huge destructible debris. I think that is a little bit of an overachievement there if both of them are actually able to take out that entire destructible debris by themselves.
I think once MMA gets a couple more upgrades available for his Marines and his SCVs, which of course don't feel them, but he'll be able to take down those rocks pretty darn quick.
3 Marines are able to take down destructible rocks in 2 seconds. I did the math somewhere. But anyway, we do have a sensor tower that's now up as well to watch out for any type of medevac play coming out here from ByuN Prime, trying to get that harassment back in order to get him really back into the game right now. He's still a little bit in a deficit in terms of SCVs, but really not as much. The thing you really have to take in consideration is not the actual count of SCVs, but how long each of the SCVs have been mining for. MMA has had retention of its SCVs for a very long time now.
Yeah, it's a great point. Neither player opted to take a fourth right now, but it looks like actually MMA is going to get a second factory. So he's going to double his tank production. The same thing for ByuN. Both players are starting to just upgrade. And this is kind of where we were at in the last game. Both players are just kind of sitting back, both on 3 base, starting to mine gas. MMA does have a drop lined up, but hasn't done anything with it yet. Both players, I mean, we do actually have both sensor towers in range. We do have a Venn diagram going on this game once again. But it looks like MMA is moving across the map. He still has a huge supply lead of just about 30 right now. ByuN doing everything he can. He's going to have to, I mean, he's going to have the defender's advantage, but how much of a supply advantage can that help you in?
And you know, that defender's advantage is absolutely huge here. You have just a nice little choke point that you really just have to defend here. And with a really nice concave of siege tanks, that's really going to work out well for him. But MMA is now pushing in here, and Prime is not even beginning to start preparation for this. The drop looks like it was cleaned up, but it doesn't matter. It allowed MMA to get into position. Look at how many Marines have moved up in here. They have 1-1 upgrades, and there's the instant GG. Wow, ByuN not even putting up much of a fight. He did know he was very far behind, but at that point, you know, it could have been anybody's battle.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought ByuN had pretty good positioning coming. He's going to pincer his opponent there, but I guess ByuN would know better than both of us together, maybe?
Maybe. But I don't know. I consider myself pretty good at StarCraft 2.
But it looks like the series is tied up 1-1, so we will go into Game 3 in just a few minutes here. Of course, I'm Jay Morrow.
Game number 3. I'm sorry, I just had to put that in there. But yeah, I'm Sham 2. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.